Hey guys, it's been a while since we've done any videos in the pumpkin patch, so I thought I would give you an update and show you where things are at. On one hand, the things that I wasn't sure about are doing amazing and they're doing great. And on the other hand, the things that worked really well for me last year are not working for me this year. So I'm not sure if it's the weird weather that we had. The end of June, beginning of July was super hot, and then it got cool and rainy, and it's been cool and rainy since. Today we didn't even hit 70. Yesterday we didn't hit 70. I don't even know if we've hit 70 for a week. So let me show you where things are at and kind of show you the good and the bad and the few surprises that we have along the way. So one of the things that is the bad is that the Connecticut field pumpkins didn't do as well as I wanted them to. You can kind of see they have, I don't know if it's a blight. I have not seen any sort of bugs on them, so I'm sure it's not a squash beetle. But is it the poor soil? I'm not sure. So you can see they're not doing nearly as well as they did last year. I also used a different seed source for these ones too. So it could be that, I just don't know. But we do have pumpkins. So I'm not calling it a complete failure. We have a lot of pumpkins in here. And it could just be because it's been so cool that they kind of think that it's time to start dying off. I'm not quite sure. Because we've had 2 weeks now of cool. But we have a lot of pumpkins in here and a lot of decent sized pumpkins. So that is a good. The fact that the plants aren't in the best shape, not good, but that's okay. We got pumpkins out of it, and that's all that really matters at this point. So, in a previous video, I talked about how we took down the netting here for the maize. It just did not work out. But these guys are really doing well. It's got some more turning white to do yet. They're doing good. That one's doing good. Yeah, so these guys are doing good. These are a gourd mixture that I got, and they're doing pretty good. They're small. They're very small. I think I chose the small though. I was hoping they'd be a little bit larger, but it is what it is. They still have some growing to do, so I'm not too concerned about them at this point. Yeah, some of those little guys there. Next year I'll definitely want to do some larger ones though of the gourd mix. Here's one that's a little bit larger, but still, I mean, they're pretty tiny. This is a little bit better size. This plant is also a lot healthier too. So that could play a role in it. Whoa, here's a big one. That's a red turban one. The pie pumpkins did not do well at all. The plants are really now just starting to do well. And it could just be where I planted them is bad. The soil here is, right where I planted them was pretty in rough shape. I might get a few out of here yet. If we have a warm stretch, I think I should be able to get a few more out of here. But they're not doing the best. There's a decent sized one. Now this is like the great abyss over here. This is the area that got planted kind of last. There's actually a pumpkin plant right here, and I'm trying to figure out where it starts. Oops. I just don't have a clue. It's in there somewhere. So this is kind of like the great abyss, and it's doing pretty good. I mean, they're looking pretty healthy for being so thick with weeds in here. And we're getting some pumpkins growing. These were, I don't even remember what these were. They were like the miscellaneous and extras. So, you know, if we get some warm September days, we'll be able to get some pumpkins off of those. Yet, if it stays cool, we won't. But then, over here, look at that. We're getting some Jack B. Littles, which is great because they were not growing anywhere else. That's a Cinderella pumpkin, and it's looking like it's getting closer. Stem is starting to dry out there. This one, I don't know what happened to that. It almost is looking like it wasn't pollinated, but I don't know why it would be that big if it wasn't pollinated. This is a Jarrahdale squash. So this is going to turn gray. So that one's doing good. That's a big Howden Biggie over there. Starting to turn orange. That's the one that's been big all summer. This is, I believe that's a, oh goodness. Is that a one too many? Far more one too many, I think. And then I don't quite remember what that is. I'd have to look off of the tag or off of my list. But this row here of orange pumpkins is doing amazing. So I definitely want to reorder those next year. Oh, I wish I remembered off the top of my head what they were. I'll have to look where it's written down, and I will put it right here. But I mean, you can see them, they're all in here. They're doing great. They had a slow start, so I was worried about them, but they are like kicking it, and they are exactly what I'm looking for in a pumpkin. Here's my hand, for example. So we're talking that's probably 12 to 14 inches tall. Nice round, kind of like a basketball. A little more taller than round. They're a beautiful, beautiful color. So that is exactly what I want. There's another one of the eyeball ones. They're mixed in here. The eyeball ones are mixed in everywhere. There's another one of those. You can see them. There's big ones all over in there that need to turn yet. I'm seeing 1, 2, here I'll point them out. 1, 2, 3, 4. That orange one is 4. 5 is right behind it. All right there, and they're looking great. Now I see a little yellowy one here. What is this? I'm not quite sure. Oh, that's got to be one of those eyeball ones, because they start off yellow and they end up turning orangey. I thought they were unpollinated, but they're not. And then if we keep going, this is a white one that needs to go just a little bit more, I think. Nope, actually I take that back. That's a Jarrahdale squash, I think. And this looks to me, oh, this is Jarrahdale. That must be a Jarrahdale too, because the white ones are smooth. They're not ribbed. So both of these are Jarrahdale squashes, so those will be gray. I've got tons of these little warty goblins. They're actually bigger than what I thought they would be, which is fine. People will love using those for decoration. Those are everywhere. And they are starting to turn orange as well. There's one. Oh, That little guy fell off, but the one behind it looks to be pretty good. And these guys are still putting off shoots, so they're doing great. Now this guy here, I've been wondering all summer what he is. I'm thinking it's a cross-pollination. There's a Cinderella pumpkin. Look how beautiful dark orange that is. They're doing great. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think this guy is a cross-pollination of a few different types. Some of these guys are smaller than I want to be, but you know, that's okay. Our goal is to have a good carving size, but we do have to have a wide variety of sizes too. So, you know, and these I'm thinking are like sunburn / powdery mildew, because we've had so much rain recently, but I'm not quite certain. Or is it just they sucked out all the nutrients in this bad soil that we have? I don't know. So I talked to some other pumpkin growers in the area. They're the people who I was talking to just the other day are about 40 minutes south of us, and they said that they're having a tough year for pumpkins. So I really shouldn't get too discouraged. We have way more pumpkins than we did last year. I'm thinking carving size, we have at least a couple hundred in here. It's hard to see on camera, obviously, but you know, when you're starting to count and add up, there's a lot more than when you're just looking. I kind of start to panic. So then when I start counting and doing tallies, it's like, oh, okay, we're doing better than we were last year. We have more plants. Our plants aren't growing as well as they were last year, and they aren't putting out as many pumpkins as they were last year. But because we planted more plants, we're doing better. So I'm wondering, you know, are we dealing with a combination of down here on the Connecticut field pumpkins, they're not powdery mildew resistant. So are we dealing with a combination of the powdery mildew and sunburn? Because we've had a lot of rain followed by sunshine. Are we dealing with too much water, too little? You know, the soil here is very sandy normally, but then this topsoil is nothing but sand. Like the previous owners sold off all the topsoil, and so our dirt, where we think is good, actually compared to most people is not. So is that what we're dealing with? I'm not sure. So I'm taking notes. I'm writing all this down. I definitely want to next year plant those pumpkins more so than the Connecticut field pumpkins, just because they are doing a lot better, and whether it's the soil conditions or the watering or whatever, I don't know. It could just be the weather, you know. The Connecticut field pumpkins might be more sensitive to the cold snap that we've had the last few weeks, and so that's what's going on. I don't know. But I do like these guys better for this year. And so I'm definitely taking note of that for next year. And then, yeah, the specialty pumpkins are doing really good. And then the bonus, I want to show you this bonus. I think I included this in a previous video, but I'm not certain. But let me take you over to the bonus patch, which is a patch that Lily found that are all volunteer. And it gave me a little bit of sigh of relief when these guys, when I was watching these guys slowly start to wilt, Lily found these other areas where volunteer pumpkins are, and it gave me a lot of hope. So here I am in our horse pasture, and let me show you this. These were volunteers we had thrown out last year. I'm thinking they're from last year, unless like a bird, was out digging up seeds or something. But let me show you this that Lily found in here. They look pretty cool. This is one of the plants, and we have a whole bunch of Jack B. Littles, but it's almost like they cross-pollinated with something white. They're not green like other pumpkins, and they're not orange. They're like yellow, but they look pretty cool, and we got a whole bunch of them in here. And so we have, I think, oops, I just broke that guy off. I think I counted the other day, we're up to in the 20s. See how they're turning white? That's pretty cool. We did not have white little pumpkins last year, so I don't have a clue if they were cross-pollinated with, we didn't have any white pumpkins last year. So I don't know if they cross-pollinated or what. But then the really cool one, I mean, that's cool, but it's even cooler over here. That whole area is pumpkins. Here we are. I'm not even sure what these are, or if it has pumpkins on it yet.
Yeah,
and
there's
this
one right here.
There's one right
It's
there.
one of those white.
It's a white Jack B. Little. Crazy! Yep, there's another one. But then over here, these almost look like the smaller of the Cinderella pumpkins. They're flat, like disc shaped. And they're kind of all over in here. And it just is, this plant is so stinking healthy. I've been trying to weed this because we were trying to keep, and it kind of, everything took over. But there's a really big one in there somewhere. And then the bigger Jack B. Littles that we had last year, we had thought it was a cross-pollination between Jack B. Little and Connecticut field pumpkin, or even a giant one. But they're really cool looking. They have like deep ridges, but they are 4 inches tall, about, maybe some are 6 inches. But that's what those seem to be. Let me see if I can find one. I had just seen one. Yeah. But it's not as orangey of a color. It's more of a yellowy orange, and not like a bright orange. So, what?
There's this one.
So here's one here.
We had right here.
Uh-huh.
Still has this green on it. This green. See it?
Yep.
But then these ones that are like new don't have the green. They're like,
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
does Dad know we went to the farmer's market?
I don't know. Can you grab that bag out of there, babe? Thank you. So, and this just keeps putting out more. I mean, I was in here 2 days ago, and this was not this far, by far. And it just keeps putting off new shoots. The plant is super healthy. This whole area is just, but this is also where we put the round bales in the winter for the cows. And so we have that big mound that we scraped this spring of hay that was left over, or that, you know, had gotten mounded up. And so I'm sure that when we threw in extra pumpkins last year, they had been cross-pollinated or whatever, and they kind of buried themselves in and are doing great. So thanks for joining us today, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick update on the pumpkin patch, since I know so many homesteaders and farmers are thinking of diversifying and adding some extra. I've had some questions about it, and been so busy with other things, and really when you're just watching things grow, it kind of looks like you're looking at the same pictures and stuff over and over, or at least to me it is. When you're in person, you can see the difference. You're like, oh, that's exciting. But when you're looking at pictures of the same pumpkins, I tried to take pictures of the same pumpkins. They literally look the same in each picture. So that is where we're at for the pumpkin patch. We're looking to start harvesting very soon and getting them out. Some of the pumpkins and some of the little guys, some of the white. I didn't show you the whites. They're buried in there somewhere, but we do have some whites that are ready to go. So we are going to get the stand, finish getting that ready, and start harvesting some of the pumpkins to put out for sale. So thanks for joining, and we will see you next time. Bye.